because I'm going to teach you about public domain tonight. Okay? So basically, I did give this viewer another option. I said, I can't read this book because it's not in public domain, but if you would like me to read another book for you that is in public domain, I am totally a-okay with that. I never got a response, and in fact, they deleted their original comment there. So I did not mean to, like, make anybody angry over that or anything, but there are legal ramifications that come with reading something that is not in public domain, and I am just not willing to take the risk. Like, I'm sorry. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and explain what public domain is and why I will not read a book that is not in public domain, because it's very important. So basically, what is public domain? Let's answer that question first. So if a book is in public domain, that means that it falls in the category of free use because its copyrights have expired. But if a book is not in public domain, that means it is still protected by copyrights, which means that if I get up here on, like, if I try to, like, read the book on a live stream, or if I made a pre-recorded video like I do with my ASMR videos, and I go ahead and post it, if that author or whoever owns the publishing rights wanted to, they could legally sue me. And I'm not trying to get into any legal trouble whatsoever. Like, on the low end, you could be looking at $750 per copyrighted work that you infringed upon. And if it was willful, they could even go up to $30,000 or even $150,000, especially for, like, repeated infringements upon their works. And that could be per work. So per book that I read that was not in public domain could be $150,000 per book. And that's a lot of money, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just an average person. I don't have that kind of money. So I just did not want to go there, you know? I did not want the legal ramifications of that. And on the high end, if they want to, like, push it beyond, like, civil court and go to, like, criminal court, generally for things that are, like, premeditated. So if you, like, read a book on stream or, like, make a video or something, obviously it's premeditated because you plan to do that. You put some thought into it, and you, like, made the plans to actually take and read the book. You obviously thought about it before you did it. It wasn't like spur of the moment, you know. They could actually fine you up to $250,000, and you could end up doing jail time. So, as much as I love you guys, I do not love any of you enough to go to jail for you. I'm sorry, but that's the honest truth. Can you imagine what that would look like? Like, you're sitting in prison or whatever, and one inmate, like, inmate number one looks to inmate number two, and they're like, hey, what are you in for? And one of inmate number one says, oh, I robbed a bank. And then inmate number two says, oh, cool, I offed my husband. And then they look at you and they're like, inmate number three, what are you in for? And you're like, I violated a copyright. I like infringed upon copyright legalities. You know, you definitely gonna be the prison bee. And I would not do well in that situation. I'm sorry. But yeah, like I said, I don't mind reading a book on stream so long as it falls in the category of public domain, because 21st century. Everybody's got a computer, a tablet, a smartphone, one of these things, you know. Everybody's got internet access, for the most part. So it's very easy to find out, actually. It's just a quick Google search. So just type in the name of the book, the author, and just ask if it's in public domain, and it'll tell you. So literally, you can take like a minute of your time and just look this up, to find out if the book you want me to read is in public domain or not, okay? But the book that the person wanted me to read was a children's book that was still in public domain, or not in public domain, I'm sorry, because it was published in like 2000, early 2000s. So generally, a book falls out of, or goes into the category of public domain 70 years, 70 years, 70 years after the author passes away. But that doesn't necessarily guarantee that the book is going to be in public domain, you know. So it's always good to research that just in case, to make sure, just to cover your butt legally. Now, generally, I don't know of too many instances where authors will pursue this, but legally they can if they want to. They do have the legal right to sue somebody who reads their works on a live stream or on a YouTube video or whatever, if they did not give permission. So you have to go to either the author or whoever holds the publishing rights, like the copyright, whoever has the copyrights to it, and you have to ask them, and not just a verbal confirmation, because somebody can go back on a verbal confirmation and then you could be screwed. You want a written, an actual written, drawn up contract saying that you can read it, and that's a whole process, you know. And usually they only give you like the rights to read like a chapter or a small excerpt. But if you're going to read the book and you want to do it on a stream or a video or something, definitely contact the author or whomever at that time holds the publishing rights to that book, because it'll save you a lot of time and a lot of money. So yeah, if you're ever in doubt on something or you're not entirely sure, please just do a quick Google search. I mean, we're living in the 21st century. You can literally have any question you want answered with just a quick Google search. So yeah, I mean, I have seen other ASM artists do this. I have seen that they read books and stuff for their ASMR videos, and that's fine so long as the books are in public domain, or if they're not in public domain, so long as they have reached out and contacted the author or whoever holds the publishing rights, and they have cleared it with them and they have got it in writing. Not just verbal confirmation, but have got it in writing. That way, you're basically covering your own butt in case they do try to come back and sue you. And usually with, like, I don't do anything that's not in public domain. Like, I will only read something that's in public domain. If it is not in public domain, I won't even go near it. Because usually when you do reach out, they are going to want a fee for, like, lending you their work for, like, a certain amount of time, or lending you the rights to their work for a certain amount of time. And honestly, to me, that just seems like a lot of unnecessary trouble just to read a book. So, personally, I would just read books that are in public domain. That way I know there's no copyright attached, and there's no legal consequences. But yeah, I really did not mean to upset anybody. I didn't, like, outright reject this person. I just asked them to pick a different book. I do hope they come back and suggest a different book, but I don't know. But I did kind of want to like make that clear, because I think a lot of people are just not aware of like a lot of copyright laws, especially for literary works, like books. You don't want to get caught up in that. It's not a good thing to get caught up in. So make sure when you go to do anything that you are following the proper laws and legal regulations attached to it, okay? And make sure you're doing your research. Just take a minute or two. It'll save you a lot of time and a lot of heartache just to find out. Just find out a little bit of information. Ask some questions. It's okay to ask questions if you don't know or you don't understand something. Seriously, ask questions, because it's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of money, and it'll keep you out of jail. That's probably one of the biggest hitters for me right there. So yeah, but yeah, I just kind of felt like it was kind of necessary for me to make this video, because I feel like a lot of people just are not aware of even what public domain is, and the serious legal ramifications of copyright infringement. So I just kind of wanted to make this to kind of like educate people a little bit. It's not to target anybody or call anybody out or anything like that. I just wanted you guys to know, because I know a lot of you guys that watch me are also ASM artists yourself. So if you weren't already aware of like copyright laws and public domain versus not public domain, well, now you are. I just wanted to like help others, like potentially save them some trouble and heartache and everything, especially if you're an ASM artist like myself. And if you didn't know these laws existed, well, now you do. And like if you went in front of a judge and you tried to claim that you didn't know, a judge would straight up tell you ignorance of the law is no excuse for breaking it. And that's where like due diligence comes in. You have to find out what is legal and what is not. And that is on you as the creator there and the person like wanting to read the book. So just to save you some trouble there, that's why I made this video. And I hope it helps somebody, I really do. But yeah, if you are an ASM artist or just somebody who likes to read books on like live streams or post videos of yourself reading books, just make sure you're going through the proper channels, okay? The safest way to go about it is just to read books that are in public domain, because you can't go wrong with that. If they're in public domain, you don't have to worry about somebody coming after you for copyright infringement. But if you read something that is not public domain, then you kind of have that looming over you, you know? And I don't want that for you guys, okay? Especially like people who aren't exactly flush with cash, you know? I mean, those of us who can't afford to pay like hefty legal fees. But yeah, really just for anybody. So I know you guys have probably seen other ASM artists, like, and you may have done it yourself, where they're like reading a book or something and it is not in public domain. Don't take and assume that somebody didn't go through the proper channels, because some people do know about copyright infringement laws and they are aware of them. So some creators may have actually taken the initiative and actually contacted the author or whomever owns the publishing rights at that time. So usually people violate these because they don't know, okay? So it's usually because either they are not aware of the copyright infringement laws, or it is because they've actually reached out and got the permission and jumped through the right hoops and did things the right way. But yeah, don't assume just because somebody is reading a book that is not in public domain that they don't have the permission to do so, because they may have actually taken the initiative and reached out and got something in writing from the author or whomever could have actually done it the right way. Or they just might not know. But yeah, don't assume just because somebody's reading something that's not in public domain that they don't have the permission to, because they may actually have the permission. But yeah, I mean, like, for example, I will not be reading any of these books, but because these books are not in public domain, and I would have to jump through hoops to be able to read them. But, like, you're not going to see me reading, like, the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. You're not going to see me reading, like, the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. And you're not going to see me reading Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. I mean, just to give some examples there. I don't know how you feel about any of those books or any of those authors. But, anyway, for any of those books or any of those authors, I would have to reach out to them or reach out to whoever owns the publishing rights. And I would have to get written permission to read their works. Otherwise, they could come after me and sue me. Now, it is not guaranteed that an author is going to sue you, but why take the chance if you don't have to? I personally don't like taking unnecessary risks where you have way more to lose than you have to gain. Especially, like, if it puts you in the hot seat, you know? I'm not into that. I don't like doing extremely risky things that could upend my life. So yeah, I'm not that huge of a risk taker. And I just I don't particularly find it fun to break the law. I find it very nerve-wracking. But yeah, I mean, just because you see somebody reading these books, if you have, like, any doubts that this person may not have gotten permission, then just ask them, educate them on public domain. That way they know, because if you guys have videos where you're, like, reading books or something and you did not get permission and that book is not in public domain, you might want to go ahead and remove that video, just to cover your own butt legally. Because literally what they will do is, at the very least, an author could sue for, like, a cease and desist, which basically tells you that you have to remove any sort of, like, recordings that you have of yourself making these videos and, like, using their works. And if you do not cease and desist, then they can actually, like, take it to court and make you stop. So don't go down that rabbit hole. Please don't go down that rabbit hole. You will lose. Especially with, like, well-known authors like the ones I just mentioned that are all very, very wealthy. You will lose in a battle against them. I promise you. You will not be able to legally use their works if they do not want you to. So just don't do it, guys. Just don't do it. But yeah, if you do want to reach out to them, you are totally free to do that and get the permission to, especially if you're an ASMR artist like myself and you want to actually read certain books. That is the proper way of going about doing it, is reaching out to them or whoever owns the publishing rights and getting written permission, not just verbal confirmation. Verbal confirmation only goes so far, and anybody can go back on their word and say, no, I didn't say that. So make sure you get it in writing. And like I said, they're usually going to want a fee, and they're usually going to only allow you to read, like, so much of their work. And really, you got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth it to you? If it's worth it to you, go for it. To me, I'm just going to stay on the safe side and only read stuff that's in public domain. I will not read any work unless it is in public domain. That way I know there's no chance of me being sued for it. Because I don't exactly find going to court a fun pastime. I do not want to be there. you something. And if you are an ASMR artist like me, or if you're just somebody who likes to read books on stream or like on your channel or whatever, if you didn't already know the things I discussed in this video, I really hope you learned something, and I hope this video helps prevent somebody from making a very costly mistake. So if I could help just one person, that's great. And if you guys already have videos on your channels that you did not go through the proper procedures and, the proper procedures there, I hope that you realize you should probably take them down just in case. That way they are never a problem. But yeah, it is totally up to you what you do. If you want to take the risk of somebody possibly suing you or not suing you, I mean, that's on you. But me personally, I'm not taking the chance, because if I don't take the chance, I don't have to worry about it. And that's how I look at like risky behavior. If you don't take the risky behavior, you don't have to worry about the consequences of said risky behavior. So I really appreciate you guys like staying to the end and learning about public domain and listening to my explanation of why I will only read books that are in public domain and why I will not read ones that are not in public domain. And I really hope you understand. And to the person who asked me to read a book that was not in public domain, like I did not mean to like upset you or anything like that. So if you're watching, I hope I didn't drive you away, and the offer is still on the table. If you want me to read a different book, so long as it is in public domain. But yeah, I'm just like not willing to risk the legal ramifications of reading something that's not in public domain, and I definitely don't want to do jail time. And also, you could also lose your YouTube channel as well for doing something like that, especially if the author chooses to sue you, or whoever owns the publishing rights chooses to take legal action against you. You could lose your YouTube channel. You could end up having to pay legal fines, and you could end up even doing jail time. So yeah, I'm not willing to do that. I'm sorry. But there are other books like that are actually in public domain, and they are like popular books. They're like classics, like Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, or what is it, another one? Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. I know those books are in public domain. Just to give a couple examples there. Like, I'd be fine reading either one of those if anybody would like me to. But yeah, basically anything that is in public domain and you guys want me to read it, I'll read it. And also, so long as it's not extremely vulgar, I don't want to basically have a copyright strike, or not a copyright strike, but basically a strike on my channel for like inappropriate language. Because if it has inappropriate language, either I'm not going to read it, or I'm just going to like not even say the word. For example, something like I think it's The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Tom Sawyer. I know that one has some colorful language in it, and I would not be comfortable saying most of the words that are in that book. Especially if it's like the original version. They have some very colorful language in that book, so I would probably be kind of iffy on that one, even though it's in public domain. It's still a little, what's the word I'm looking for? It's still a little out there, you know, it's still a little, blunt, exotic, a little bit risque. There we go, there's the word. It's a little too risque for me.